Dude, I don't know what's wrong with so many mangas recently, but all their endings just kind of suck, man. For the likes of which of My Hero Academia with that canonical ending of, damn, I was gonna be the world's greatest hero, but here I am as a teacher. It's like you build yourself up so much from the beginning of the story, but then come out the story with no powers. It sucked. All right, we can all agree the ending sucked, but even Jujutsu Kaisen had the worst ending. You have so many other mangas. You have Attack on Titan with its ending. It's so many endings recently have been so trash when it comes to manga. It's absurd. Now, I know many people like it. Me personally, I'm giving you my honest opinion. Dislike the video if you want, you lazy fuck. But a lot of the endings could have been better. Specifically, I want to talk about Chainsaw Man. All right, it had a lot of hype. You had the entire war arc where you had Yoru fighting Chainsaw Man. It had a lot of hype. It had a lot of excitement. It was like, all right, this is a lot of action. This is a lot of battling. They're fighting new devils. They're figuring out, wow, are we gonna die? Are there other characters that are gonna like join in? Are we actually gonna get to see Power and what's his name? Like it's stuff like that. It was all a dream. Yes, the newest Chainsaw Man chapter, the ending to the series was, oh, it feels like I had a good and a bad dream. Ending with chapter 232 in Shonen Jump. My God, what a horrible ending, dude. And I know for a fact all of you Chainsaw Man glazers. Now believe me, I'm a fan of Chainsaw Man too, but I can admit this chapter was buns. This ending was entirely dog shit. And you can obviously tell way back in the manga or way back in the series that Fujimoto wanted to get this shit out the door. All right. He wanted to be done with this series because you had the entire, thing with the Falling Devils, the Four Horsemen Devils. And you're like, all right, cool. You have this fake Chainsaw Man that was coming in. All right, cool. And you have the Yoru and like the whole war arc kind of thing. All right, great. Oh, by the way, here's Bugs that they fight, and then he gets eaten, and here is Denji eating his own heart, or Pochita is there, and it's like, what the fuck? And it's just sad, and it's yes, I understand. Hey, you get to see Power once again, but it was already hinted at in the main story, in the main continuity. Now, there's like an alternate timeline theory, which we can get into that headspace later. I'm not trying to get into that now, but all the characters come back. They come back. Power comes back. Denji stops a whole bunch of a lot of bad things and for people happening, such as Asa crushing that chicken and him getting called Chainsaw Man by her, and it's stuff like that where it's like, okay, cool, understood. But dude, we could have actually seen a fully played out ending, but instead we have trash. And that's the biggest thing when it comes to manga specifically, or Chainsaw Man in this specific one. It could have been great. You had your entire series built up. You have your entire ending set with a war arc. You could have like a major cooldown, and then from there it's like, all right, this is how we end. I'm canonically just saying, hey, part one, that's it. But yeah, dude, I'm just incredibly disappointed by that ending. Now that does make me concerned about Berserk's ending, or if it ever happens, Vagabond's ending. But hey, Berserk's ending is in the great hands of his closest friend, and he knows how it's going to play out. The ending, I want it to have a good payoff. I want it to, be respectful to to Arthur, to the fans, to everyone that reads it. And it's like, all right, this is pretty good. It's pretty all right. It's pretty decent, But yeah, have a good one. Cheers.